In the headlines, 2 killed, 4 injured as fence collapses on workers at a construction site in Wuse 2, Abuja. Police in Benue rescue 8 kidnapped victims, arrest suspected cattle rustlers. Reps threaten to summon AGF finance minister, others. And on the international scene, Switzerland charges ex-Gambian minister Usman Sonko with crimes against humanity. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Now we'll begin on a sad note where 2 workers are feared dead at a construction site at Ademola Adetokunbo Crescent, Wuse 2, Abuja, after a structure collapsed on Wednesday. 4 persons were said to have been rescued alive, while 2 others are fatally injured as search and rescue operation continues. The rescue operation is being carried out by a joint team of National Emergency Management Agency, Federal Emergency Management Agency, Federal Fire Service, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Nigeria Police, and volunteers.
A business park. There was a building at the former site of Access Bank, Ademola Crescent, Wuse 2, and we mobilize our men here promptly. Here we have NEMA, Federal Fire Service, FCT Fire Service, Civil Defense, all stakeholders. And by the grace of God, out of the 6 people that were trapped, 4 were rescued alive, 2 were fatally injured. They were all taken to Asokoro General Hospital for medical attention. The building was under construction, and the adjacent fence to the main building under construction collapsed on the men that were working on the site.
An unnamed commercial bus driver was on Wednesday confirmed dead in an accident involving 2 yellow-colored vehicles known as Danfo and a government-owned BRT bus. The accident, which occurred around the Ogudu Bridge, inward of Alakbere area of Lagos State, grounded vehicular movement and caused a gridlock along the very busy axis connecting the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The BRT bus went up in flames, compounding the traffic situation along the axis. The spokesman for the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, Adebayo Taufik, in an interview blamed the accident on overspeeding by the buses. Now in politics, Kebbi State Governor-elect Dr. Nasiru Idris has promised to round off all projects not completed by his successor Abubakar Bagudu. The governor-elect is also promising to give Birnin Kebbi, the state capital, a facelift. Idris made the pledge in Birnin Kebbi when he and his deputy Abubakar Tafida collected their certificates of return at the state INEC headquarters. He pledged that he is ready to turn the economy of the state around and ensure that farmers in the troubled southern part of the state return to their farms when he is sworn in. The governor-elect said the people of Kebbi State deserve to live a good life because they are hardworking and are committed to progress of the state. Members of the People's Democratic Party are celebrating the victory of Governor Ahmadu Fintiri in the city of Jamaica. Governor Fintiri beat his closest rival, Senator Aisha Binani of the All Progressives Congress, and other contestants after supplementary elections conducted on the 15th of April 2023. The process, which had been beset with some drama, was eventually concluded on Monday, with the party's candidates emerging victorious. The celebration by members is also underlined by relief that attempts to hijack the process were not successful.
We want to assure them that we will continue the good works we have started. We have started laying the foundation for a greater Adamawa state where systems work, where institutions work, where resources are judiciously utilized, where the government is responsive to the earnings of the people. So the assurance I want to give them is that we shall continue to build on those blocks and ensure that, like we have always maintained our philosophy as a government.
You get the way, even when your wife is pregnant and she delivers safely, successfully, you have to jubilate. So when you go for an election and then you win an election, you must jubilate. And that's why we're happy, we are jubilating. We are here to thank God, we are here to thank INEC, and to thank everybody for supporting us, supporting the governor, Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri.
My message to them will be to come together to build Adamawa State, especially given that the current governor, Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, has delivered on the dividends of democracy, and that is visible to the blind and audible to the deaf. I will ask them to shun desperation and come together to build a one prosperous and progressive Adamawa State.
We want to assure them that we will continue.
Still in politics, the All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Aisha Dahiru Binani, has dismissed the claim of offering 2 billion naira bribe to win the state governorship election. The suspended resident electoral commissioner, Hudu Yunusa Ari, had declared the senator the winner of the election on Sunday under controversial circumstances. In a statement on Tuesday, Binani said her attention was drawn to an allegation purportedly made by an officer of the Department of State Services in a video that she gave out 2 billion naira to some unnamed INEC officials. Binani alleged that those who tortured the INEC wreck were the agents of the Adamawa State Governor and the Government House Police team alongside their political thugs. The lawmaker described herself as a committed Democrat who will never do anything to subvert the democratic process. Binani added that what happened in Adamawa State was an unsuccessful attempt to subvert the will of the people. On security, police in Benue State say all 8 abducted victims in Owukpa community in Ogbadibo local government area of the state have been rescued unhurt. Daily Trust had earlier reported that the victims were abducted on Sunday evening along Atamka Ububu Road of Owukpa while they were returning from a village market. The police public relations officer, Catherine Anene, on Tuesday confirmed that the victims were abducted on their way to farm. She said in an update on Wednesday that they had all been rescued. The Benue State Police Command says it has arrested 4 suspected cattle rustlers who have been fomenting crisis between herders and farmers in the state. This was disclosed in a statement released by the police public relations officer in Benue State, Anene Sewese Catherine, on Wednesday. She noted that officers on patrol in Guma local government area on April 10th had intercepted and arrested Tewase Nyon, also known as Ojen, and 3 culprits, while others fled from the scene. The police spokesperson said syndicates had conspired with criminal herders to rustle cattle, sell and share the proceeds, adding that weapons were retrieved from the suspects. The police also stated that information was received that hoodlums had hijacked herders grazing in Taka local government area and absconded with some cattle on Sunday. Now, away from that story, House of Representatives has threatened to summon the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and other top government officials over the alleged loss of $2.4 billion from illegal sale of 48 million barrels of crude oil. Malami and others, including the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, have failed to appear before the committee chaired by Mark Bila on Wednesday. The officials had been invited to participate in the committee's probe of inflows from recoveries from whistleblowers and expenditures. The committee, however, said it is giving the appointees one last opportunity to appear before it and speak on inflows from recoveries from whistleblowers. Chairman Bila added that if the government officials fail to honor the invitation again, they would be summoned and further statutory powers would be exercised. The lawmakers said that the AGF and the finance minister had failed to respond to any correspondence from the committee. You're watching Trust News Update, coming up after the break. How tailors struggle to meet deadline ahead of Sallah celebrations. Just stay with us.
Good morning, Nigeria. Year after year, they have informed, educated, and entertained us. When you needed information, knowledge, or an escape.
From generation to generation, the Nigerian broadcasting industry has worked tirelessly to serve you.
And now, this service will finally be recognized.
Come May 17th this year, broadcasters all over Nigeria will gather at the Hotel and Suites for the maiden edition of the Nigerian Broadcasting Awards, an award ceremony set to reward hard work and excellence in the broadcast media. Voting starts on 20th April and ends on 4th May 2023. Visit www.tnbawards.ng to vote now. They've served and they're still serving. It's time we say thank you. This award is organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Trust News Update, a recap of our top stories. We told you that 2 killed, 4 injured as fence collapses on workers at a construction site in Wuse 2, Abuja. We also heard that police in Benue rescue 8 kidnapped victims, arrest suspected cattle rustlers. Moving to more stories, tailors and fashion designers in Jos, the Plateau State capital, say they're working round the clock to ensure that they meet customers' deadline for delivering clothes for the Sallah celebrations. They acknowledge that though they sometimes fail to deliver as promised due to unforeseen circumstances, they are, however, trying their best to make their customers happy during the Sallah festivities by delivering on target. Ade Musa completes the story.
It is a common feature to see or hear of heated arguments, quarrels, and in worst-case scenarios, physical and exchange of blows between fashion designers and their customers as a result of failure on the part of the designers to deliver as promised, especially during festive periods like Sallah, when everyone is hoping to wear new clothes. Fashion designers are always busy during festive period, with some managing to fulfill the promises made to their customers, while some fail to do so. They told Trust TV how they handle these periods as well as how they cope with not too patient customers. Of course, it is not always easy for us, especially this period when everyone is hoping to wear new clothes for the festivity. What I always do is I come out early in the morning and devote time to do or get some work done. During the night, Others will take over from us to spend the night sewing the cloth just to ensure that we deliver to our customers as promised. We always try our best to meet the deadline. What we do is, whenever a customer brings their clothes, we agree on a particular time and call them later to collect their cloth when it is done. If your work is not complete, we plead with you to come back at a later date. What we do here is we work tirelessly to meet up the demand of our customers. We spend day and night to sew a good number of clothes so as to discharge them. The tailors further explain why sewing is expensive in recent times. Sewing now is expensive because prices of goods and services have increased. The materials we use to sew the clothes are very expensive now. The machine used for certain design is also expensive. Modern designs are different from what we used to know. The design that customers prefer now are beautiful and expensive, considering the materials and fittings used. That is why modern sewing is highly priced. Some customers who came to collect their clothes share their experiences with Trust TV. I'm here to collect my sister's clothes. I have been here since morning, yet the tailor has not finished the work. He promised to finish the work before now, but he has not fulfilled that promise. It is the attitude of the tailors that prevent me from bringing my own clothes now. I'm also here to collect mine, but he hasn't completed it. It is worrisome that these people are behaving like this. I brought my clothes even before the commencement of Ramadan. The tailors are positive that they will deliver to all their customers to enable them enjoy the Salah with their new clothes. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Moving on to more stories, Bauchi State Government has been advised to improve the welfare of its 4.9 million vulnerable population by enrolling them in the health insurance scheme. The advice was given at a stakeholders awareness meeting held by Journalists for Public Health and Development Initiative, J4PD, in the state. Adamu Imam completes the story.
During the meeting, pharmacists Khalid Qasim and Shamsuddin Yahya said government at all levels have made adequate provision to sustain health insurance program for the benefit of all citizens, especially the vulnerable ones in the society.
According to my own experience, we have many people who are poor and they don't know where to get money, and sometimes they die because they don't have money. Because of this achievement, as of now, they are taking care of about 240 people in my area who are poor. It is Benchmark that's come and registered them, and they are giving them good health.
Members of the religious institution at the meeting called for more sensitization awareness through worship centers for the common man to understand the relevance of the health scheme.
The religious leaders have a very key role to play because they also control a lot of people, and so many people are already attached to their religious leaders. Anything they say, they feel is from God. And like from the Christian perspective, I've said something also rising from here. There is this mentality sometimes people have, and some of us have tried to challenge it, that God heals. So many pastors try to discourage people from taking drugs or going to the hospital to even know their health status. It's wrong. I've always condemned that. Say it's wrong. God only heals, but He has given man the wherewithal to heal. To cure. And that's why the medical say it's only God that heals, but them they cure.
Stakeholders, in conjunction with Journalists Hub, on the need to improve awareness on the right to health in Nigeria and complement government effort in universal health coverage. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
As Muslims inch towards Salah festivities marking the end of Ramadan, local communities in Katsina State have been observing the 2023 fast amidst harsh weather and economic downturn. Most of the residents of local communities such as Kaukai in Batagarawa local government area observe the fast with little or nothing to start or break the fast with at the end of each day. Abdullahi Ahmadi visited some locals who shared their experiences on how they struggle to observe the fast. The report.
Ramadan fast is a time to strengthen social and religious bonds between those who have and those who do not in Muslim communities. In a community like this, the spirit of sharing, togetherness and love that comes with Ramadan cannot be compromised. Once it is time for breaking the fast, everyone here brings out what is available to share with others, especially the needy among them. This is common even as only few out of the whole community can afford kunu and water to break the fast as a result of the harsh economic realities of the present-day Nigeria. The situation is unbearable, but for religious obligation like fasting, there is no compromise no matter the difficulties. This is the peak of dry season in Katsina State, and during this period, there is usually no food, no money, hence we only depend on God for all our needs.
I used to break my fast with something like kunu, kosai, and so on and so forth. Sometimes I used to engage in some different fruits, which include watermelon, orange, banana, but this is pertaining to me.
Zakat al-Fitr is given out to the needy in form of grains or food items from 3 days to Salah, preferably to Salah Eve, to enable the needy use the grains to prepare for Salah festivities. It is not only seen as a religious obligation, but also a transfer of love as well as building the spirit of togetherness and oneness among Muslims and non-Muslims alike. Islam has directed Muslims to help one another at all times, especially during Ramadan. This includes obligatory Zakat al-Fitr, which is compulsory on every Muslim to give out regardless of his age, gender, or status. Many believe that if the spirit of Ramadan is extended beyond the month, many poor families would have a better life, while peace and tranquility will prevail in the society. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
National Emergency Management Agency on Tuesday said 107 stranded Nigerians have been evacuated from Libya. The returnees arrived Nigeria at about 3:55 p.m. at the cargo wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Ikeja. They were received by the Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Ahmed, who was represented by the Chief Relief and Rehabilitation Officer, Mr. Aziz Afonku. Among the returnees were a male and female infant, 5 female children, and 3 male children. The NEMA boss stated that a total of 105 stranded Nigerians were repatriated, with an additional 281 assisted back to the country in March 2023. In April 2023, a total of 259 Nigerians have so far been assisted to return to the country. On the international scene, Switzerland's Attorney General on Tuesday filed an indictment against Gambia's former Interior Minister for crimes against humanity committed under former authoritarian leader Yahya Jammeh. The Office of the Attorney General said Usman Sonko is accused of having supported, participated in, and failed to prevent systematic and generalized attacks as part of a repressive campaign by security forces against Jammeh's opponents. Sonko's lawyer, Felipe Curat, on Wednesday said his clients disputed the charges, adding that some of the alleged acts occurred before articles on crimes against humanity came into force in the Swiss Criminal Code. Sonko was Interior Minister from 2006 to 2016 when he fled to Sweden and onto Switzerland, where he applied for asylum. In January 2017, he was arrested by Swiss police after the Geneva-based legal group Trial International filed a complaint under the principle of universal jurisdiction that allows for the prosecution of the most serious crimes, irrespective of where they were committed. Sonko has been held in Switzerland ever since. And finally, in sports, Serie A champions AC Milan have identified Nigeria forward Victor Boniface as one of their potential targets this summer. The Rossoneri are keen to bring in a new striker following the disappointing performance of Belgium international Divock Origi. According to Tuttosport, AC Milan's chief, Paolo Maldini, and Ricky Massara are looking for a new striker to partner Olivier Giroud. Union Saint-Gilloise hitman Victor Boniface is among the names under consideration by AC Milan. The 22-year-old has caught the eye following his impressive showing for Union Saint-Gilloise in Europe this season. The talented hitman has scored 11 goals in 13 European outings for the Belgian Pro League outfit. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.